Hey guys, this is God of Politics. We're going to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But in today's video, I do want to talk about the Virginia governor election and the New Jersey governor election and the primaries that recently occurred for those races, as well as a couple other races which I'll be analyzing. And I didn't make a full prediction video before it because there was really no surprises and there wasn't going to be any surprises. Terry McAuliffe, as you can see here, the former governor of Virginia, garnered 62% of the vote. In the Democratic primary for governor, the person who is in second place was more than 40 points behind, and that was Jennifer Carroll Foy. You had Jennifer McClellan at 11%, Justin Fairfax at 3.5%, and then Lee Carter, the very progressive candidate who got 2.8% and actually lost his state House district, or I should say the House of Delegates district. That's what Virginia uses. But as you can see here, it's a very purple map representing Terry McAuliffe, who won very, very easily. And you can see that he had a very strong lead in virtually every county. And you can see here overall, he won by 42.5 percentage points. He didn't win by 42.5 percentage points in every single county. Of course, up in the areas like Fairfax, he won by more than his overall margin. Areas like Loudoun County, about the same. Areas in Virginia Beach, however, he did even better, winning by 50 points. Chesapeake won by a ridiculous margin. Same thing in Norfolk. Same thing in Portsmouth. You're probably going to see a similar thing in the Richmond suburbs. Henrico County, you can see it there. Charlottesville area did about as you would expect him to. In the where the 9th district of Virginia is, the Appalachia part of it, where the Blue Ridge Mountains are, of course, he did do quite well. I mean, you can look at this county, for example. He got 83% of the vote, and he only had, only barely 100, not even 200 votes here in the 2020 election. This had about 9,000, and that's only because there was 1,587 votes for Joe Biden here. And in the primary here, you had not even 200 votes here. But Terry McAuliffe did get 83% in that county, which may actually be his best result of any county. Funny that it's in the Appalachia area over here, which votes more like West Virginia than it does Virginia. You can see here the very red parts here. You can see it votes like these areas in eastern Kentucky. It votes like these areas, or I should say most areas, in West Virginia, with the exception of Charleston, Monongalia County, etc. But basically, the point of this is that he performed well across the board. He has broad appeal amongst the Democratic Party pretty much everywhere in the state of Virginia. Of course, you would expect him to do very well in Nova. You would expect him to do very well in a lot of these Democratic areas, but he also did well in a lot of Republican areas, more working class areas that you would expect maybe one of these other candidates to do better in. And I can't really see many candidates that, or counties that Jennifer Carroll Foy even cracked 20% in. So really, it was just broad appeal across the board by Terry McAuliffe here. He got thousands and thousands of votes from all of these counties, and it's basically all done reporting now, but you can see here he won every county very, very easily. We, of course, had the lieutenant governor primary here, Hala Ayala, who won that primary. For the attorney general, you had Mark Herring, the incumbent attorney general, who actually only won by 13 percentage points. I'm not actually sure. I wasn't fully involved in this race, fully invested in it, but for an incumbent, for a two-term incumbent running for a third term, a 13.2% win is not really that great. And you can see here there are a couple of races that were quite close. Some actually I think you actually had some candidates lose their primaries. This candidate here in the 79th district lost a primary. This candidate over here lost a primary in the 86th district. I know there's a lot of people talking about this candidate. I believe that they were a progressive, but most of these were uncontested races. But overall, what's probably going to end up happening, Terry McAuliffe's going to win by, say, 10 percentage points-ish. We can look at a possible map over here. This is a county map of the 2020 election. We can see here Trump won most of the counties, but of course that does not translate into votes. And if we zoom into the Virginia area over here, we can kind of highlight some of the areas that Terry McAuliffe might do well, some of the areas that he might not do as well. And what I think is going to happen is he'll probably match or get close to Joe Biden's numbers in the Northern Virginia area. Maybe he does slightly underperform him, but he is a good candidate for those areas, very rich areas, very establishmentarian areas, and I think that those are areas that he is going to do quite well. Some areas that I also think he might could do quite well are areas like Virginia Beach, which is a county that Joe Biden flipped for the first time in decades for the Democratic Party. But can Terry McAuliffe win that county? Well, he went to Ralph Northam in the 2017 election. If we go over here to 2017, he did win the Virginia Beach area, Virginia Beach County, by about 5 percentage points here, exactly 5 percentage points. And he did a little bit better, but not much better in the southwestern Virginia area. He did a little bit worse than Joe Biden in the northern Virginia area, and he did a lot better overall in this area along the coast over here. But overall, a county map probably isn't going to look that different from the county map in the 2020 election. I don't think that he's going to do much better. Maybe he does a little bit better around these areas. Maybe he brings it down to 60% in these counties. Maybe maybe the Republican candidate does slightly better in the areas along the coast here, but really it's going to be it's basically safe. I'm going to call it likely, but it's basically a safe state. There's not even any areas I can highlight that would be strong for the Republican candidate, because Virginia's a blue state now. Of course, Joe Biden won it in 2020. Hillary Clinton won it. Obama won it both times in 2008, flipping it for the first time since 1964. Not even Jimmy Carter or Bill Clinton could win the state of Virginia. And now you've got the growing areas in the Washington, D.C. suburbs. You've got the Virginia Beach area, Norfolk, Richmond, Charlottesville, Roanoke even. And there's really not that many areas for Republicans to gain. I mean, they've got these southwestern areas, and sure, they could, in theory, make some gains along more of these rural areas up here, but these are all areas that trended towards Joe Biden, and a lot of them heavily trended towards Joe Biden. So where is it for Republicans to gain? Now, I do think that there is a possibility that they could retake the state house and the state senate. Now, I don't think it's that great of a chance, but there are certainly a lot of pickup opportunities for them because they are running under the current maps rather than running under new maps. And the current maps were drawn by Republican legislatures that are quite gerrymandered, I do believe. I know that there was a redraw of the congressional districts map, but I don't think there was a redraw of the state house and state senate map. And so what you're probably going to see is a couple districts that may actually flip towards the Republicans, which could flip back after you have the redistricting and you have elections under the new lines. Now, we'll talk briefly about New Jersey because of course, that is a statewide election that did go on yesterday, but I don't want to talk too much about it because, it's New Jersey. It's another blue state, and this is a safe blue state. You do have the primary here where Jack Ciattarelli got 49.4% of the vote, won every county, I believe. If we can wait for this map to load, yeah, we do see that he won every county, and it wasn't really even close. He did crack 50% in a lot of these counties that Trump has not performed that well in, areas like Morris County flipping for the first time since 1964, and he did well in South Jersey as well, especially in these two counties down here, the Atlantic City area. I suppose maybe he's from there. But overall, he got about 49.8% of the vote, I believe, or 49.4% of the vote, and he didn't do as well in the New York area, the New York suburbs, I suppose, but overall, pretty solid win for him. I believe you had Hirsch Singh was a very pro-Trump guy, which really wasn't going to go down well in New Jersey, but we do have this guy as a candidate who I believe ran for Senate, or I believe actually ran for governor in 2017. Hirsch Singh ran for Senate against Cory Booker. Jack Ciattarelli ran in the primary in 2017 and lost. And overall, 319,000 votes, pretty strong actually for Republicans. For the Democrats in Virginia had about, I believe it was 400-something thousand votes. If we can find the primary, it was about 400,000 votes, which isn't too impressive given that there was almost 3 million votes, I believe, in 2020 in the state of Virginia. Actually, we had almost 4.5 million, but overall, not that great turnout in Virginia, not that great turnout in New Jersey, but decent in New Jersey. But overall, it's not going to be any competitive. There's not going to be any competitiveness to this race at all. It's not 2009 when Chris Christie got elected. It's not 2013 where he got easily reelected. This is 2021. Polarization's increased. You've got an incumbent who is still quite popular in Phil Murphy, who won easily in 2020. And I know people say, for New Jersey hasn't reelected Democratic governors in a long time. Yes, that's perfectly true, but I don't really see any scenario in which this guy is going to beat Phil Murphy, who ran unopposed in this primary, is decently popular, won easily in 2017, and has everything going for him, really. And so you're going to see my final ratings probably end up being safe blue for the New Jersey seat and likely blue for the Virginia seat. not too interesting of races. I think it would be nice if this Virginia race was competitive for election predictors because it would be a lot more fun to predict. Same thing with New Jersey, but that's not going to happen. These races are both going to go to the Democrats. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.